Hey, what's up? My name is Tevin, and I'm doing my Illustrator presentation on Dan dos Santos. I chose to do him because of the names that were available to choose from. I wasn't too familiar with his, so I figured why not do a presentation on somebody that I'm unfamiliar with so that I can also learn something too from this research. Um, but funny thing is, when I Googled him first, there wasn't much fact information that you could just like look up and find. Like his Wikipedia page is probably like a quarter of anybody else you would like anybody who's remotely famous or whatever. But so like majority of the information that I got either came from videos or interviews, whatever I could find in as far as that nature. But I was able to find out that he's from Connecticut and he was born in 1978. Um, he's a digital slash traditional artist, though he prefers to do traditional. And he feels that since he's well versed in traditional art, that he gets a lot more hirings for commissions and things like that since he possesses those skills. He says he likes to work in acrylics and oils, though he prefers oils mainly. He got into art from looking at comic books as a kid. He mentioned in an interview about being from an immigrant family who was very poor. So the only real literature that they had in the house was comic books. So that was like his first real exposure to any type of art. So like that's kind of like what inspired him to want to go down that path. Um, he was also influenced by some big names like Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, and Michael Whalen. Uh, he mainly draws like the covers for books. That's mainly his things. He's done over 100 of them. He's been in the sci-fi fantasy genre, urban fantasy, horror, comic inspired, and portraiture. He's a co-founder of an art studio with Steven Stroud in Connecticut, and he has a Patreon where he makes how to paint videos, like real in-depth how to paint videos. So his Patreon is it's like a membership based subscription website where fans and um, connoisseurs of art can go subscribe to various artists and they could there's like giveaways and they'll give away thumbnails and like just little prizes and stuff. So it's another way for like artists to connect with their fans and supporters. So I think that's actually really cool that he has that. He also has his own website, dandesantos.com, which in the following next slides you will see that's where I got a majority of his work. He posts like he has a web page for his portfolio where he posts like all of his work. Uh, and like I said, he does a lot of in-depth how to paint videos, which is something I think is really cool because not only do you get to connect with him as an artist, but you also get to learn his style and his way of going about things. Um, some big achievements over, of course. Uh, he graduated with a BFA in illustration from the School of Visual Arts in New York City in 2000. In 2007, he won the Best Emerging Artist Award. Also that year, he won the cover for Best Cover Illustration in the paperback section. And he's been nominated 7 times for the Best Professional Artist Award, which is pretty significant um, deal. He's worked with some pretty big names like Disney, Universal Studios, Disney Comics, Boeing Aircraft, Activision, and Hasbro. Um, he mentions that for his artwork, it usually takes typically, like when he's painting, it typically takes about 2 weeks, though it's crazy that he actually got hired to commission the 2023 Marvel Masterpieces, where he said that he had to create 135 paintings for like different characters. And yeah, he said that he spent, I think, about like 3.5 days. Yeah, yeah. He spent 3.5 days over 2 years painting. Sorry, excuse me, sorry. He spent 2 years, 3.5 days per painting for 135 proofs that he had to make. And he painted all 135 without getting any approval from any art directives or anything from Marvel or even on within his own company. So he basically took a risk of painting 135 proofs without getting any approval that any of them were going to be good. So that's pretty insane to put in that dedication and that effort. And he attributes his OCD as motivation to combat that task and make sure that he was able to succeed in it. Here's just a few cards that I was able to find on his portfolio. From left to right, we have Doc Ock. We got the Beast from what is that? X-Men. Uh, Green Goblin, Spider-Man, Captain America, and just behind my head you have Luke Cage. Oops. Can I go back? I don't know how to do that. Sorry, but yeah, then we have Silver Surfer versus Galactica and Blade, Rocket, Black Panther. I forgot who's in the top right, and then in the bottom right we have Ghost Rider. The one thing I really like about his designs is his ability to create nice backgrounds that complement the characters that he's painting. A lot of times is like, I think with artists is they probably put a lot of more effort into the anatomy of the character and they leave out the background. But I think, like, especially with these Marvel paintings, I like how he tried to bring out some of the personalities of the characters within the backgrounds. It showed a lot more within the first batch. I don't know if I could. I don't know how to go back. Oh well. We'll carry forward. He's done. This is some work that he's done for this Fables series. Um, I believe these are all different volumes within the series. There wasn't much information that I could find on that since he is just the illustrator and not the writer. I guess I could have looked more further into the writer who made it, but I stayed with Dan Dos Santos on majority of this, so I wanted to see basically his artwork and see what he had to offer. Um, this is White Trash Zombie series, and again, like I said, like if you look at like some of these backgrounds and like the way he crafts, and I feel like it helps tell the story about what you're gonna get from the character rather than just who the character is off of what he drew and presented to us, or painted. Sorry. Here's some other works that he made. These ones, um, I don't know if they were a part of like actual series or just like standalone works that he did, but I was very impressed with like the way he's able to bring out different elements within his work, and it shows like real heavily fine detailed, and he cares a lot about like presenting strong female characters in his work. And you'll notice that if you browse his portfolio, he has a lot of dominant, like strong women personalities overflowing throughout it, which is really cool to me. Yeah, you see, there's more, and he does like a lot of different like he does the sci-fi, he goes horror, urban fantasy. He has different takes on stuff, so I think that's actually something worth noting that um, he lets he keeps it realistically, like all looks real, but then he's able to put this take on it that just kind of takes you to a whole nother world, and it creates something different for you. At least for me, at least. I don't know. I'm kind of uh, I like to live in a fantasy world a little bit, so I think that's like where my creativity comes from. So I think I kind of resonate with like some of the stuff that he does, like just visually looking at it. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you for coming to my presentation.